Kevin Wege, State Representative from the 24th Legislative District, the beautiful Olympic Peninsula.
Out in the distance, we're seeing the San Juan Islands laid out right in front of us. Orcas is directly out. And then over to the right of that would be Bellingham and Whatcom County. And Mount Baker is in the distance. And then this way out, that in the distance is Vancouver Island, and you can barely see the city of Victoria. In front of that is Dungeness Spit with the Dungeness Lighthouse. And then here are some old pilings from when Dungeness was more of a booming community than it is now. Geographically, it's the largest legislative district in Western Washington, 5,000 square miles, covers all of Clallam and Jefferson County, a good portion of Grays Harbor County, so Ocean Shores, Hoquiam, Central Park, and Montesano are all in the district. In Clallam County, all the way from Nia Bay into Clallam Bay and Port Angeles here in Sequim, and then in all of Jefferson County, so Port Townsend, and then down the Hood Canal through Port Ledlow, Quilcene, and Brennan are all in the beautiful 24th District. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous district. It has wonderful landscape. It has shoreline on the Pacific Ocean, which is a whole different set of rules, federal regulations. Here in the Strait, all the shipping traffic that goes through, any ship that's going to the Port of Seattle, Port of Tacoma, goes through here, along with all the Navy ships, aircraft carriers, and submarines. And then down into the Hood Canal and deal with all the Hood Canal regulations and how that's dying, and trying to revitalize that and make sure that it's stayed historic. So it's a lot of shoreline, and it's a lot of interesting type shoreline too. We're in front of the Sequim Dungeness Schoolhouse. It served the Dungeness community, New Dungeness and Dungeness, both when those communities were going many decades ago. It quit being a school in 1955. Now it's mostly used by community organizations and from a Peninsula College to do classes and stuff here. I think it adds a lot to communities, it adds beauty to them, and gives value to communities by having their historic buildings preserved. We're in front of the Dungeness River here in Sequim. Dungeness River has the greatest drop of most rivers around, and so it goes way up into the mountains very quickly. There's campgrounds and parks all the way down the river for people to enjoy. There are salmon that run in the river. In probably 2002, I got a couple of salmon, and I've tried since then, but have been unsuccessful. The river really is the mainstay of the community of Sequim. Every year, Sequim has the Irrigation Festival, which is the longest running festival, I think, in state history. And it's based really around the irrigation water that is released during that time of the year. And water is wealth is kind of always the theme around that. The irrigation water supplied from the Dungeness River was very important to Sequim as a community, as it had its farming here, but it also is a beautiful river and has salmon in it, and is great to live by. Farms like this are vitally important. I think to the district they're important because they're a great employer. They're healthy for our communities in that they provide healthy food, and they use their land very well. They're very concerned about storm water and using water correctly, and they don't waste water, and they leave a lot of land undisturbed. So they're greatly beneficial for our communities in that way, and then they're beneficial to the state overall because they provide healthy food to the urban areas of our state. Nash's farm in particular supplies a huge amount of the organic food that is eaten in the Puget Sound area. One way that we're seeing more food that is grown here be used in urban areas and really throughout the state as a whole is through the Healthy Kids, Healthy Schools Act that is putting organic, healthy, good food from farms like these into our schools to make our children healthy. I'm here in front of one of the many historic barns in Clallam and Jefferson County. There's a lot of old preserved barns around here. Jefferson and Clallam County and Grays Harbor County too are filled with beautiful old barns, and that was a big reason I was a co-sponsor of the 2007 barn preservation legislation, which will really work, I think, to preserve these old barns and continue to make beautiful landscapes for us to enjoy.
Timber is really vital to the 24th Legislative District. All of the Olympic Peninsula economy really relies on timber, whether it's the paper mills like Port Townsend Paper and Nippon, Grace Harbor Paper, all rely on the pulp product being able to come out of our forests. Sawmills in Forks and Port Angeles and Aberdeen all rely heavily on the timber product that comes out. And we have a beautiful national park here. The Olympic National Park is here on the Olympic Peninsula, and there's a lot of forests that are preserved in that national park, but really the forests that surround the national park really are working forests and employ a lot of people directly, whether it's cutting down trees and driving log trucks, and then indirectly in the mills that are located here. The timber economy really does provide family wage jobs. They are well-paid jobs. A lot of them are union jobs. They are jobs that have benefits, and for the most part, they are stable jobs and year-round jobs, and really key to keeping us surviving here. Alternative energy is something that's really growing here on the Olympic Peninsula, and it has a huge potential, I think, to create a lot of stable jobs. It is doing so in Grace Harbor portion of the district, really developing alternative energy and a green economy, and it's related around the timber industry for the most part. Right now, there's a lot of places where we still burn logging slash, but we're working on being able to turn that logging slash into energy, which is going to create more jobs, and it's also better for the economy and creates a market for alternative energy. Here we are in Sequim at the home of Patel and Pacific Northwest Laboratories, and they are working on creating more jobs. They are an innovation partnership zone site, which is legislation we passed in 2007 that combines higher education facilities and laboratory facilities and works really to increase the amount of family wage research-based jobs we have in the state of Washington. And Sequim Battelle is working really hard to create more jobs. They currently have 85 more people, but they have the infrastructure in place to really put their IPZ to work and create more family wage jobs in the area of marine biotechnology. So here we are at the Port of Port Angeles' John Wayne Marina, which is located by Sequim, a beautiful marina, and it's kind of the gateway to the San Juan Islands, as are many of the marinas along the Olympic Peninsula. And it's called the John Wayne Marina because he donated the property for the marina to the Port of Port Angeles and used to moor a boat here for his San Juan Island tours. Here we are in front of the Sequim High School, which is part of the Sequim School District complex, and we have the high school and the gymnasium here behind us. Public education obviously is very important to the state of Washington. It's part of our Constitution to provide public education to all the citizens of Washington State, K through 12 basic education, irregardless of their age or sex or race. And it's a big part of our Constitution and a big part of what we work on at the state level. We have invested significantly in our public education over the past few years, and we'll work hard to do that in the future. Class size is obviously a big part of that. All-day kindergarten, state funding for all-day kindergarten are big parts of that, and things that are needed across the Olympic Peninsula. Basic education is the foundation of how we develop our workforce that will work to create jobs in the 24th District. So here we are at the Dungeness River Audubon Center in Sequim, and it's a facility that promotes education and the preservation of our birds and other natural resources. Currently, about every year, they teach 2,000 students about the birds and natural history of this area, and they receive state funding, and we'll look to be getting more state funding.
Man, let's put it over here.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.